Good evening. Oh dear. Is the sound coming through okay, by the way? Doo-doo-doo. Boom, 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 boom. Thank you very much. Jesus Christ, 0-0. Well, I can answer that then. Not many in the room. What time is it, by the way? A bit early tonight, aren't I? 20 to 9. Do you ever plan on going back to Date Rally? Not 4, just picked up from August. Date Rally's hard. No, probably not. Date Rally's like too hard. Date 4 I plan to go back to at some point. It's just that I've got loads to do at the minute, different games. But the original one, that one you've picked up, is so hard. Like ridiculously difficult. But good price. No. Yeah, well, they tweaked originally when it came out on the PC. It was really super hard, like one of the hardest driving games I had seen. But then when they brought it to console, I heard that they tweaked it and made it better. So I then got it. Excuse me. Ooh, I got a review copy, played it, and it was easier, way easier. Seemed to be finishing rallies quicker, but then it got to the snow. If you've not got to the snow levels yet, and that's when I stopped, it was just ridiculous. It was like the car width was the same width as the road, and one tiny touch of the snow either side. Virtually impossible to get through. I'm not too into Hitman series, to be fair. Although that one's been rated quite a lot. Yeah, that's when I stopped. That's when I'd had enough. Let me just, if I click resume on this game, does it take me to where I was last night, or should do? Hey up, me duck. I played this last night, you know. That wouldn't surprise me, Paul, if this were near the end. Because I played quite a bit of this last night on the stream. It's only the DLC, by the way. Did you watch the game last night, Paul? Ah, we are carrying on from last night. So yeah, this is the DLC. Wouldn't surprise me if we've not got a lot of this left. Well, yeah, this is the... you saw me play this originally, though, didn't you? You did. You saw me play this game originally and finishing the whole story. Yeah, it was. They played well, didn't they? I tell you what surprised me was the two... I think all the Derby fans panicking like hell about, you know, him not signing anybody and selling all the players. And not buying anybody. But then last night, when he fielded two complete teams in each half, and to be fair, both teams looked pretty strong as well. I was quite surprised. That was a shit throw. Chrissy Martin's goal was good. Chrissy Martin's goal. In fact, by the way, I thought the streaming quality at the beginning, me and my brother were doing as nothing last night. I know that it's the first time they've done it live and shit, but I tell you what. Oh, tell me that thing's not in the water. Oh no, I've thrown it in the water. And you can't duck. So what am I supposed to do? Yeah, I mean, he's still talking about getting rid of some more players, isn't he? Oh, I can't believe I've thrown that in there. I'm gonna have to die, I think. I'm gonna have to die. Well, that's not dying. Oh no, I haven't. It was good quality when it got going. Pity about old Andy Murray today. That was a shame to see. But you could tell he's been carrying an injury all week. And I said it to my brother. I said that as soon as he played anybody that would give him a run, he'd struggle. And that's exactly what happened. It was a shame to see. But yeah, the Derby stream, we couldn't get arm working until 20 minutes into the game, by the way. I still don't see how I'm going to get this. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, a I'll tell you what I did though, by the way, which was really intriguing. I got it on my big telly. I went on the web browser on my big telly, just tuned into DCFC, and it played in the browser. And I'd got it on the big telly for the second half, which was pretty cool, was it not? Oh, don't throw it, you twat. Pick it up. Hiya. Hi. Hiya to everybody who I've not said hi to yet. Okay, so where is the bloody thing? Oh. Is that going to stay on there? I'm not taking the risk. I am not taking the risk of that not staying on there. I'm just not. I need to get it on properly. It's a twat as well. No, you need to be back. Oh, Annie. Sorry about that. I always hate it with the names, with the gamer tags, because you never know whether to talk to anybody by the gamer tag, or you don't know the names. So, welcome to the room, Annie. Oh, you need to run. That went down a bit quick. That went down extraordinarily quick. I have a plan. Oh, you're in Utah? Holy shit. We've been complaining of warmth in this country and it's only been about 26. What is it where you are? God, I bet it's ridiculous. I'd never cope in a proper hot country, I wouldn't. I'd be shit. I'd be totally shit. Right, here we go then, boys and girls. We'll try a new tactic. Oh, go on, 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 go on. Ah! Fuck. So if I do that... Wait a minute, go back. Let me try something. If I run, jump, grip, jump, grip. Yes. Now that is what I need to do. Oh, and I've done this. You'll never guess what I've just been and done, guys and girls, for the last hour. God knows why. On me, just YouTube shit again. Why I was having a minute, and I went on YouTube and watched some like PAX thing. Some PAX thing where they was doing speed runs, and like different teams of these obviously clever people or clever gamers came up and did their turn. And I have just literally sat and watched somebody go through Zelda Link to the Past in an hour and 14 minutes. But it's obviously they're like members of glitch clubs. Oh, you beauty. What's happening? What the fuck? What the actual fuck? Why did it rip me off then? Why did it rip me off then? And the bastard lever's not even there. Why did it rip me off then? Evening, John. You've just been witness, or you may not have witnessed, me being totally ripped off. With some bullshit gameplay. Oh, on the 3DS. It was the demo just on the 3DS. I enjoyed it. It was only 3 levels. But I have to say, not worth the 35 quid. I think that's Mark's message to Annie with my swearing. Yeah, apologies for swearing. You'll get it a lot on this channel. I make no apologies. Gaming does make you swear. Yeah, it was Para's in the room. Where have you been? On holiday? Oh, and I think that twatting thing's on there. I bet you any money. You just know it's going to be under there, don't you? I actually should have watched. Oh, you've been busy, matey. You've been working. I'll tell you what I've been doing, boys, today. Somebody's asked. I got a joiner, carpenter, to give me a quote. Well, I say give me a quote. Do you know, I don't want to rant, but you know I'm going to. Do you know when you look at these services, i.e., you know, you look on the... I now find it... There's a website called Find a Builder. You've probably seen the advert on TV. And basically you sign up and say find a builder, and you type the job that you want. Click a load of people that are obviously in the trade. I don't know where I threw this pipe. I could be here all bloody night. So basically, oh, I haven't had a quote yet, Mark. Wait, I jumped ahead of the gun, mate. I'll tell you the story. So I went onto this findabuilder.com, put in a few, joiners and carpenters. Basically told them what I wanted. I've got a 4x3 room. Needed just a decent work surface on the 4-foot wall and a couple of shelves putting up for storage. So this one guy last night, really quickly, really got in touch with me, really quick. We had a phone conversation. To cut a long story short, his second in command, basically, rang me today. I had a nice chat to him, so I really told him what I wanted. You know, I said, I've got no materials, so I said, so it'll be all in. And I basically said, look, I said, it'll take you half a day. I said, I literally want a thing on the 4-foot wall and maybe a couple of shelves at the side. Only has to be MDF if you want. And he says, oh, right. So he said, and this was, I think this was early this morning, about 11 a.m. So he literally came and said, okay, yes, sounds no problem. And I'm thinking, and to be honest, I think I've put 80 quid aside, or round about that. Maybe able to stretch it a bit. I just want it doing, and doing properly. 1 second while I concentrate. You bastard. Yeah, it's a similar thing, Mark. It's the first thing I've tried. So anyway, this guy, after the phone conversation, really nice bloke, he says, right, Julian, what I'll do, I'll go and price some materials up. It's too busy, mate. It's too busy. A lot of people have asked me that. It's just too busy. So this guy says, right, I'll go and price some things up. It's about 10 o'clock this morning. And I'll contact you later on today and give you a final ballpark figure. Because I actually said to him, I says, look, I says, give me an end of number. I says, no, no wasting your time. Not going to waste your time. If it's too much, I'll just tell you. Simple as that. And he says, right, okay, no problem. So I then said to him, I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take a couple of pictures when we finish this phone call, and I'll send you the pictures to your email, so you can actually have a look. Actually have a look at what you're doing, at the room that you're going to do. And he says, yeah, no problem. So I did that, finished the call, took him a few pictures, belted him off on the email, and literally 2 minutes later he wrote back, yeah, that's brilliant, Drew. He says, I'll contact you later on today to give you a final ballpark figure. Yeah? Still waiting. And that is what really pisses me off. Because they're supposed to be professional builders slash joiners, carpenters, wanting a quote from somebody that spoke to you twice and twice the day before by text, and can't be bothered to just even call you. Even if they've not been and priced it, just call me to say, sorry, been busy, I'll do it tomorrow. No email, no text, fuck all. That really annoys me. Because you guys have heard me before on the show. If you're doing a job, do it right. If you don't want to do it, don't fucking do it. There's plenty of other people that will do it. But that is my real big bugbear with anything like that. Because it seems anything like adverts or anything where you can let that person know in a 5-second call, text, email, there's no excuse not to. It's not that date box. His main company is they're working until October. This guy is his lackey who does the other jobs to fill in between, and he told me this morning he's just finished a job. He hasn't got another one till next week. So that's why I'm saying to him, this is going to take you half a day. So why hasn't he just fucking thing me? And I'm tempted to drop him a text just to say, any news? But then I sat here and thought, well, no, why the fuck should I? Why? Why should I do it? Oh, no, don't do that. No, 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 no. It's got to be timed perfection. True date box, I agree, mate, and I am really one of them people people should know by now that I am one of them that would say, well, fuck you then. Do you know what I mean? And I would be, you know that. When I fall out with somebody, I fall out with him properly. There's people I've not spoke to in 15 years just because of falling out with him. So believe you me, fall out with me and that's you've done. But it's just annoying because I want it doing, and it's the fact that the guy sounds so, 100% virtually. I thought he was even going to come round today. Fuck you. Can't believe it ripped me off on that first pass on there. Obviously I must have caught the door by an absolute knacker. Oh, I fell in water. That's nowhere I want to be, I'll tell you that now. Dead. 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 By that creepy little shit. Fuck. The buttons on this for doing these kind of moves, by the way, if you sat there like thinking you're not doing very well, the button configuration to do what I'm doing is very awkward. I'll give you an example. So to run fast, it's hold down your square. Okay? Jump is your cross. So you've got to keep holding down your square and your cross. But when you run and jump across here, you've got to press and hold the right trigger to grab. So you're constantly holding square, trying to time your jump with a off thumb press and a right trigger. So, just so you're all clear that you're not watching this and thinking, well, he's fucking useless. No, the control configuration's really fucking awkward. Oh, look at that creepy twat. Whoa. What game's that? Oh, Christ, I didn't even know I were in there. I thought I was stood on that ledge. How did you get the game? What game is that, X-Player? Do you mean this one? Do you mean this DLC or the whole game? Oh no, I'm gonna die. I'm talking. Right, trigger. So the whole game is in the store? If that's what you mean. If you mean the DLC, it's a review copy. Oh, you little shit. This does look good, just as good as the main game. Looks pretty good value. Well, I streamed the first part of this DLC last night, about an hour and a half. And this is continuing on. I don't know how much is left. Why have we got knobheads in the room as usual? This is a review copy for my stream and my UK podcast, Cranky Gamers UK. Okay? It's a review copy. Yeah, it's on the channel mark if you want to watch part 1, but if you're thinking of playing it, then no, mate, I haven't got that one. And I only do probably normal games anyway. Not normal, I mean like new games for the show, so... Mate, you know I get triggered too fucking easy. You know I've had people in the room before that just hell-bent on... It always does my head in, right? I'm just going to say something while I'm on this, right? Okay. I watch streams like most of you guys. You know when there's a game that you're probably looking for or some DLC that you're looking for? Like, to me, I would go and look at a stream of a new game or some new DLC, but I'd use common sense. No, let me rephrase that. I wouldn't jump into somebody's stream who was streaming a game or a new game or anything and instantly say, why are you playing it? How are you playing this? How have you got this early? How come you're playing this early? Because I'd pretty much figure it out. Do you know what I mean? No, it's the point I'm making now, Mark. It's people having to say that kind of thing in the room. You guys have seen these rooms time and time again. I mean, I've even had the account banned before for some idiot that put me in for a review thing. We all know that story on the show. So when you constantly get people asking that, what I'm trying to say, when I jump into a stream of a new game, I don't instantly say, how are you playing this? How are you playing this early? I'd use a bit of common sense. I'd see the person who it was. I'd probably go and do a bit of research. I'd go and look at his YouTube channel. I'd go and, just click a few links in a second. Or even read the bottom. where it mentions that we're a podcast, where there's writing on the bottom. That's what bugs me. That people just don't... That people just automatically... Oh, you're playing this early? Are you playing this early? You know that. You know the history of it. But what I'm trying to get across... Was any of you... Do you know you regulars that come in this room? Have any of you ever jumped into a stream of a brand new game or a bit of brand new DLC and typed the words, "How come you're playing this early?" I'll ask you all that. I think that's the easiest, simplest question to ask you regulars. Have you ever typed them words? And there, Mark, I rest my case. And then I'll say the second part to the question, would you even say it? Yeah, and guys, so I hope you appreciate the kind of... And that's it. And that's it. That's my point. Now, on the opposite end of the scale, like them guys coming in, and I'm not criticising the people that come in, if you ask a normal question and say, oh, right, okay. But what I mean is, I'd actually want to know about the game that they're streaming. Yeah, that's exactly the point, John. You want to see the thing. Yeah, it's... But you guys know my frustration, because I've had it before. I've had it time and time again, and it's bloody frustrating when you've got to constantly... Do you know what I mean? You've got to constantly talk about it when you're literally 2 seconds of clicking. It's getting games... that said, I asked you about Pikmin today because I've heard it's tough getting review games out of Nintendo. I do get review games from Nintendo. I've had a couple in the last month. Oh, mate, you've heard me on the show, haven't you, many times, and on the Rambler. If I sit on a bus and there's 100 people on it, I'll guarantee you I get the village fucking moron come and sit next to me. Once had the funniest thing ever happen at a football match at Derby. I shit you not, this is. In fact, me and my brother was in tears for the first 10 minutes of the match because we couldn't cope. Because we were sat in there was a big match on, packed ass, 30,000, and we was in the middle of this aisle, packed solid it were, at Pride Park, and you're building up to the game, bit excited. I think it was Leicester, it might have been Leicester. There's one empty seat at side of me. One. It's the only seat I can see for fucking miles. Yeah? So I'm looking, and I taps my brother on his shoulder, and I leans over and I says, mate, I says, what's betting I get a fucking idiot at side of me? I shit you not, I'd only just finished the sentence and turned back round, and lo and behold, the most annoying person ever on planet Earth came and sat at side of me. It was one of them that would never shut the fuck up, but he was also one of them that had never shut the fuck up and thought he were your best mate. So he's never shutting the fuck up talking to you, but he's also one of them that is watching a game of football and he's talking absolute bollocks while it's on. My brother was crying. My brother kept banging me in my ribs, and he's absolutely in fucking tears. I'm just sat there like, just shaking my head, and I honestly get him all the time. Daybox, that's a good point, mate. I'll be perfectly truthfully honest. I thought this DLC was already out. In fact, I'm pretty certain it's already out. You can buy it on the store. I could buy it 2 days ago. So you can actually go and check it for yourselves if you're now, just to guarantee. Can't you remember me saying on the stream 3 nights ago when I went to get this, because I'd got the review code, but it was telling me I'd got to pay for it. So if I'd got to pay for it on the PlayStation Store, this has been available since last Friday. Has it not? So it's not even a question, is it? Because if I went to look at this code on Saturday and it was making me quote the price of $7.99, then surely it's already out. Do you know what I mean? It's already out, isn't it? What the fuck? So what's just happened? Mate, and that's a very good point. Very good point. You shouldn't fucking have to, should you? But, and my point's this, as I've just said, it doesn't take a fucking second to do a bit of research, does it? Again, if this is me jumping into somebody's room, you know, along this bottom, Toz from CG UK podcast, to support the stream, donate to the channel, across the bottom. I would instantly see that in somebody's channel and think, oh, fucking hell, it's a podcast, so this is... And then two and two together. Mate, and I'll tell you something, I listened to that back in the day, and I cried even more because it's just me all over. Why has that just done that, do you think? Or has it broke it so I can get round this corner? I don't fancy this run, because he's a bit of a twat, innit? He? Get up, get up, get up. Yeah, it's not that down, look. Do you know what, funny enough, I used to be... I'm into my comedy and all that shit, right? Holy shit. Oh my god, what do I do? 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 Potato! Yeah, Jasper Carrot, I actually listened to one of his first ever comedy shows when he was the bollocks on vinyl. On fucking vinyl. By the way, guys, let's work this thing out when I get round there before we do it. Where do you think... I've obviously got to get up there. Do you think I had to make a run for it and jump? Billy Connolly, mate, hands down. Closely followed by Peter Kay. I could do Peter Kay all day. I fucking love Peter Kay. Could I have run and jumped to that ledge when we were pissing about? What do you think? I thought I might have to get on that lamp. It's a real big shame about Billy Connolly, actually. He's very poorly interviewed. To be honest, I can't see him lasting much longer, which is a crying shame. Had me in tears. Fucking... That bloke's cheered me up no end in some bad times, I'll tell you that. Probably the best comedian ever. Has to be. And when you sometimes hear me say on the show, I'm having a Billy Connolly moment, it's what I mean by that is when he it's when he does the when he starts telling a story and then just wanders off on another story and then comes back about a fucking hour later to the same story that he'd started with, and I just think that's genius. I hate that kind of comedy, Jason. That is my least fucking... my least favourite comedy. I'll tell you what, that weren't the thing to do. Was it? No. I've got a feeling it's that when it... because it collapsed a bit, didn't it? And I've got a feeling when it collapsed I do the run and jump, then I'll try that next time. It's got a shitty save point here. Must admit, my daughter got me into Russell Howard. Wasn't a great fan, but I will say now, there was one of the funniest moments I'd ever seen on fucking television ever happened on that, and I watched it live as it happened, and I cried with laughing. When he broke his wrist, can you remember that? Can you remember when Russell Howard broke his wrist live on the show? I was fucking in tears, because what it was, the week after when he come on, and he'd got his arm in a fucking cast, and then it's showing you the clip from the week before, and I thought at the time when he'd done it, it didn't look right. Can't stand Jimmy Carr. Honestly, I just don't like, and Frankie Boyle as well, they're not my type at all. Yeah, he broke his wrist, he fell off did he either hit something or fall off a fucking stool, didn't he? I cried so much. Chubby Brown was a big thing. Les Dawson and the geniuses of like Morecambe and Wise. Les Dawson was a fucking genius. Once saw Chubby Brown walking in Nottingham. That's me dead. Yeah, I once saw Chubby Brown walking in Nottingham. He's got a show in Nottingham's Theatre Royal, and we went round the town on the Saturday. And I'm just stood waiting for my mate getting out of the car, and fucking Chubby Brown stood outside on me. Called him a fat bastard and he stuck his thumbs up. I wish I'd got fucking tickets actually. Yeah, you don't hear much of him now, do you? I'm gathering he's still touring. By the way, have you tried getting Peter Kay tickets lately? You know that his last 2 tours hold the record in the UK for ticket sales. He broke the record twice. And he broke the record for the fastest selling. I think his tickets for his entire show sold out in something like 3.5 minutes. What are you thinking, guys? Come on, I need your thoughts. Do you think I am going to fucking take a running jump? No, it's not that, because it drops straight in. The famous thing about Fawlty Towers, you know that, don't you? I'm not a great Fawlty Towers fan. I think there's a couple of scenes, a couple of banging scenes. But the famous thing about Fawlty Towers, there was only ever 12 episodes, which is unbelievable when you think about it. Right, guys, we're not going to do this until we've had some ideas thrown at us. So stop yakking about comedy a minute. What do we think's happening here? Comedians, I love that programme. You stay up as a young kid, didn't you? Or when your mum and dad had gone out, you used to tune in and hope for some dirty jokes. Right then, boys, we need ideas. It's obvious that's going to drop in that water and electrocute him. My feeling is I need to be hanging somewhere. Now, my feeling would be that light above that TV, but as you clearly saw, there's no way I could get to it, but I think I've just figured it out. On the telly, jump on the picture frame. Must admit, Open All Hours wasn't a great fan of the original series. It was one of them comedies that I never got into it. And it's like, I never got into it, but you know when it got a bit more famous and a bit better, loved it. And that's David J. And I've got to say, can I just say, by the way, the new series of Opening All Hours, why David Jason agreed to do that, I don't know, because that was awful. That was just fucking awful. Because it was the combination of both of them in the prime that made that. But the new one was, made me cringe, and David Jason should never lower himself to being doing things like that. No way. By the way, shit in Middlesbrough have let me down for a bet tonight on the friendlies. Should never bet on friendlies. Stupid thing. Should never bet on friendlies. They've gone and drew in Portugal 0-0 with Oxford. I mean, what the fuck? Yep. 12 episodes, the most famous quiz question in every UK pub quiz in the bloody world. UK pub quiz in the world, that was a bit of a... Oh, it's not the fucking drawers. It's not the drawers. It's not the pictures. Well, you better get an idea. Whoa. Stop. Stop talking about this fucking thing a minute. What am I doing? It can't be the light. I've just jumped at that picture and he didn't go anywhere. Oh, behave, man. Go and wash your mouth out. Only Fools and Horses was probably the greatest comedy series ever made in history. Ever. One, because its longevity. Two, its writing in the later years was just class. And then the way that they actually ended that series was just a piece of perfection. For 25 years of... No, it didn't. It went perfect. I will say this. I will admit this, and I think I've said this on the show before. That bar scene is still my funniest. I can watch that bar scene now and actually start to well up before he's even started talking. That probably would go down as the greatest comedy scene ever. That and the chandelier. But the chandelier one, you needed the whole build up to that. But the bar one, fucking ever. Just, I can see it now and it's making me fucking laugh. I will say this about Only Fools and Horses. Absolute perfection. They should have finished that entire series and never came back with that amazing ending with the watch and Sotheby's and them rocking about in the Reliant Robin, and then the scene at the end where the three of them are walking off into the sunset and he says the words, "This time next year we'll be billionaires." That should have been the end of that series, period. And when they come back with all the bullshit and all that, it was great to have it back because it was so good. But then when you'd had them extras, you just thought, no, you've fucked it up. Take the money off. I mean, why they take the money off? I mean, Jesus Christ, man. I will say Trigger, though. All right, Dave. All right, Dave. You used to keep fucking making me laugh now. All right, Dave. Why does he call him Dave? Oh, fuck. All right, Dave. Yeah, it would have been... If you think about it, Ben, when they ended... If they'd have ended that entire series there, imagine having the box set or watching it in its entirety. It would have been the perfect ending ever. Ever. It did, mate. You're right. In fact... I'll tell you now, whenever I watch it or used to watch it on Gold, I don't watch it so much now. When I used to watch it on Gold, and you know, because they used to do it in chronological order, I think twice, you know, when they've done that, I've stopped there. I've not watched the others after, because I felt happy that that's the way it went, and I just like that. Anyway, back to this. Where are we thinking of this room? This has got a shitty puzzle now because it's in a point that it's easy to die. And if I do die, I'm right back to that bloody bit. I didn't want to jump off it, you frick. Oh, wait a minute. I'll tell you now, I had a tear in my eye at the end. I'm not frightened to fucking... not frightened to admit it either. Absolutely fucking welling up like a baby I were at the end. Oh, I tell you what, you could push the telly off and it's going to swing, innit? Haha. My other theory, you know when that thing collapses and it drops in, doesn't it create a platform here? I think we're onto it, Mark. I think we're going to get there. I think we've got it. I think what's going to happen, I think I can either push that telly off and jump on it and then swing across through that hole, or I think this creates a ledge here, so let's get... I wish you did have this save point's a bit shit though, don't you think? By the way, the demo of going back to the 3DS this afternoon, because a few people were interested in that, there's 3 new demos arrived. Pikmin, Dr. Kawashimi's I Love Till Death Us Do Part and all. Fucking hell, he was good as well. But again, it was like taking it all out of context again, isn't it? I mean, that was funny. Do you want me to tell you one of my funniest comedies ever? Ever. Used to watch it absolutely with, and it used to make me cry with laughing. Love Thy Neighbour. Can you imagine if they stuck an episode of Love Thy Neighbour on now by mistake on a Saturday night? Somebody pressed the wrong button and stuck fucking Love Thy Neighbour on. People would absolutely, I think they'd faint in the aisles. I think they'd faint in the fucking aisles, honestly. What, Love Thy Neighbour? You're kidding me. Fuck you. Fuck you. That was a shit jump, wasn't it? Love Thy Neighbour, honestly, fuck. Completely off topic. Does anyone know the best place to go for a good second-hand MacBook? Yes. Both my MacBooks were bought off eBay. Now, will say this. I will say this. eBay is a cesspool, we know that, but my last two MacBooks both were bought off eBay, providing you do your right testing. I will give you another one. Go to Groupon. Groupon have got MacBooks and iMacs refurbished at decent prices. I would sell mine actually if I could afford to buy another one, but I can't. I would wipe mine for you and give you a decent price on mine just so I could upgrade, but I can't at the minute. But yeah, try Groupon. And sign up to Groupon as well, because if you're not signed, they send me emails every day and there's a MacBook on it. Every day. What the fuck? That's not going to have killed me, is it? Because if it is, what am I going to do? Yes, Steam does run on it. But before you do anything, Matt, let me tell you now. Oh, I'm back here. Isn't this where the game started? This is where the game started. Georgia Mildred. Fucking Georgia Mildred. I think this is finished. I think this is finished, boys and girls. And it says so close. This is finished. Very enjoyable, I think, he says. Yeah, thought so. I've got a feeling that ending, you might be able to do it and not get caught, because the trophy that popped up that you guys wouldn't have seen, the trophy was called So Close. You can run Steam, Mark, but let me give you a tip, mate. Don't forget, hardly any games run on a MacBook. If you're a massive Steam person and if you've got a Steam account now on PC and you're currently playing games, whatever you do, don't think you're going to put a MacBook on and then play all your games you've got, because you fucking ain't. But Steam does run on it and work on it, but only a specific amount of games run on it. And I would boldly say as well that you need a MacBook that's probably no older than 2 years if you want to run any Steam games decently. Oh, you can dual boot, Mark, but it's a fucking ball ache. Go and look up. Oh Christ! Now you're asking me something. Boot camp. Go into Google and type boot camp. That's the thing that you run. Let me tell you now, if you do it properly, it works brilliant. The very first MacBook I got, I boot camped my Windows on there, and I actually used to run my Steam games on boot camp, and it actually 25%, not even that. Matt, if you're on your PC now, go into your PC. If I'm not mistaken, in your settings on your Steam, there's a tick box and shit that you can actually look for MacBook games. Just search in MacBook games and it'll show you. And I'm warning you now, If you've got a library on Steam, I would be willing to have a bet that not 10% of the games that you've got will run on your MacBook. Not very many, mate, at all. But I will say this to you. If you do manage to pull boot camp off, which is not hard if you know what you're doing, my Windows actually ran better on my MacBook than it did on a PC. But again, don't forget, if you're planning on doing that and running your games, you're still going to need a very up-to-date MacBook. So if you're actually buying it, meaning you're after a second-hand one, I would be willing to probably tell you, if you're hoping to play games on it, I'd steer clear. Good evening, little Jimmy, and goodbye. So yeah, if you're doing it for games, that Mark, I wouldn't do it if you're doing it just for games, definitely. That was a very enjoyable piece of DLC, that was. How much are you looking for one no longer than 2 years old? I'm going to tell you something now, Matt Schaller, and I'm not going to lie, mate. You know I've been after one for quite some time, okay? Mine is... I've got a 2009 MacBook. The one I do the show on now is a 2009 MacBook. I need a new one. I need an up-to-date one. I need one now that's at least 2012, 13, 14. But I'm going to really disappoint you, Matt, because I can tell you now, mate, you are looking at least 600-700 quid. Easy. That's what's held me back for the last 6-12 months. I'll give you a tip. My MacBook now, even though it's 2009... I could still sell mine for probably 400, 450 quid. Dead easy. Dead easy. They keep their money no end. Mate, you're looking at 700, 800 quid. I'll give you a tip. When I was talking on the show and on the stream about a month ago, when I said I was going to look into it, I went loads of research, went looking for it, looking how much mine would sell for and how much I'd have to put towards it. Para, who's the PC expert in the room, don't know if he's still in, but what it was, he was telling me that I needed at least a 212, 213, 15. And you're looking, the thing what Mark's saying there, there's this bottom line that you will never escape from. MacBooks hold the price. It's one of the best priced devices that you will ever keep. I could sell mine now for 450, dead easy, because it's got 2 very high capacity SD drives in it. So I've got no disk drive in mine, which nobody's bothered about anymore, because the person I bought mine off removed the disk drive and put an SD drive in it and another SD drive in it. So even though mine's 2009, mine's still sought after for people that want to work with them, office environments and shit, because they hold the money. Alexa, main 25%.
Okay.
So basically, they hold the money, mate. You are looking at serious poundage. I know that's what stopped me looking stone dead. Because I looked for like a good week when I was talking about it on the stream, and the best I could come up with. And you're always finding yourself, or what I was doing. Yeah, mate, I can tell you now, without even looking, I would say 800 quid. And that's minimum for what you want. And that's probably less than you think. I'll tell you what a good thing is to do, shall I? Go on to apple.com/refurbished. Because it's a bit of an area that people don't know much about, but Apple actually refurbish. They've got their own section, and occasionally they have some really good refurbished deals. It is an investment. They hold the price. I know for a fact when I want to take the plunge, I'm going to be able to sell mine for 450, easy. But my problem is I'm going to have to look at least another 400 on top of it, you see. But I may have a buyer for my Switch at the end of the month. And that's what I'm actually looking at. That's part of my plan. I'm thinking of trying to sell my MacBook for probably 400 quid second hand. And then I'm selling my Switch, and I'm going to probably upgrade my MacBook at that point. They don't. The thing, yeah, the apple.com/refurbish is a great site. They do iMacs, and they do eBay's okay. I got my last my two MacBooks I got were from eBay. No, I tell a lie. I'm lying. My one I've got now is from eBay. My first one was a Christmas present, and everybody chipping together when I was early in the show, and I bought my first one brand new. Yeah, I remember that, because that was a good time. I think all the family chipped in, and that I got my very first one brand new. And actually, a Cranky Gamer listener did me a great favour at the time. They actually had got, they actually worked in one of the Apple shops and got me the staff discount. Yeah, and that's what I must admit, when I bought this one on eBay, I was very, very wary. I was scared to death because it was a lot of money for me. And like you say, you know you can get ripped off. But I will say this: eBay has got excellent guarantees now. Excellent. Providing you cover yourself and do it right, you would never be out of pocket. Because if you had got a faulty item or something that wasn't working, you would be able to get your money back. But have a look at Apple Refurb. You probably log on tonight and there's nothing there. But they do refresh it every night. But yet, let me tell you now, you're still going to be looking at 700-800 quid. But I'll tell you this. When you buy a refurb off Apple and it drops through the post, it's like you bought a brand new item. In fact, I'd be willing to put money on it that if you got a MacBook from Apple refurb and it came through your post, you wouldn't think it was second hand. Because it's Apple. It goes through and they package it and do it like it's a new thing. So, yeah. But they're expensive, mate. It's the biggest ball ache in the world. I've been trying to upgrade for the last 8 months or so. A 201,011 MacBook. That's one in the future, isn't it, Jason? I'll tell you now, 2011 MacBook for $499 on eBay. I'd want to take a look at that and question it. In all seriousness, that sounds too good a deal at that price. And you know what they say about too good a deals? If it looks too good a deal, it probably is. And I can tell you now, that's exceptionally cheap for a 2011. I bet you there's marks on it. I bet there's scratches on it. I bet there's a mark on the screen. I bet there's nothing in the... I bet you there's something wrong with that advert. Because that is a low price for a 211. You see, I think if I get one to upgrade, I'm definitely... I've got to be at least... got to be at least 214. And I didn't even think about fucking... Don't even think about what a 2014 MacBook costs now. But I'll tell you where I've been looking. And that's looking at iMacs, because iMacs have been at decent prices as well, second hand. Ooh, spooky. Oh dear. I saw some nice ones in the Apple shop, 1700. If I could wave a magic wand, I would have one of the latest ones at that MacBook shop, and I think they're currently, to put it in perspective, Matt, I think the latest version of the MacBook is currently 2,100 to 2,600, if you want a ballpark figure. That's how much they are brand new. So if somebody could wave a magic wand, that would be my dream item. Because it's got all, well, it's just like it's the latest one, and it's fucking amazing piece of kit as well. Although, waving that magic wand, I would actually probably say to them, wait a minute, before you wave that magic wand, I've changed my mind. I don't want the latest MacBook. I'll have the latest iMac instead. That's what I'd probably do. And have it on this desk here where I record every Sunday. That's what I'd probably do. Yeah, they can. They can. The new ones can. They're a beast of a machine, I'll tell you. In fact, I'd really like... The only thing that puts me off them, though, they've only got that one fucking silly adapter on the side, haven't they, now? Because they did the same with the fucking MacBook that they did with the bastard ear plug on the iPhone. Thought taking slots off is the way forward. The modern thing to do. Yeah, look how that's worked out. Because everybody's taking the piss out of you now. Do you think Apple have got the bollocks to put the 3.5 back into the iPhone 8? Do you think they ever would? Do you think they might just turn around and say, look, we fucked up. Let's just put it back on. Because all other phone manufacturers took the piss out of them. OnePluses were the best. I don't know if you saw OnePlus's keynote last month. Them were the best. I pissed myself. Have a look at the price of a 2015 Mac. I'm selling mine, but you'll need to be quick. 3 weeks or so. Make me an offer. Mark, seriously, I will have the money on the 31st of July. Send me a DM or an email to crankytoz@gmail.com, mate, and I'll have a chat with you. Could have the money at the end of the month. That's when somebody is buying my Switch. So, yeah. Drop me an email, mate. That's a good point, Jason. The only reason they wouldn't is because people... But the thing is, you see, Jason, what the market does, and this is what Apple probably might change their mind, it's not... People don't buy the Apple peripherals. They buy the cheap rip-off peripherals. And they buy the cheap peripherals, and that does Apple more damage. Rumour is they're not going to. It will surprise me if they're not. Rumours are saying that the iPhone 8 won't even have fingerprint anymore. It's going to be done on facial scanners. Let me ask you something about that, because I think me and Para made a joke about this when they were talking about this. Let's take worst case scenario. Some fucking shady burglar or some dodgy bugger wants to get in your dead important iPhone or your whatever, okay? Just chop your finger off, don't they? Chop your finger off, cheers, I've got your phone, bye. So facial recognition, now I will tell you this, do you know that your fingerprint don't work if you make it cold? Do you know that? Try it on your phone. Try it on your phone. Yeah. So in facial recognition, that's surely an easier thing to crack. Grab somebody by the fucking hair, shove the fucking face in front of the device, cheers you mug, I'm in. That's a shit idea. Facial recognition is so easy crackable, surely. But your fingerprint won't work on your phone if it's cold. And the way I found that out is because I was eating an ice cream the other day. And I'd been holding the ice cream in my hand and I went to open my phone and you can't fucking... I couldn't open the phone and I don't know why. Yeah. I mean, surely, like I've just said, surely facial recognition's way easier to crack than a fingerprint recognition. Although, tested.com, with the guys off of Mythbusters that now run all that stuff. I remember watching a video on YouTube when the fingerprint identification first came out on iPhones. Now I know what it was when it first came out, and we've moved on. But they actually got all silicon molds and shit, and they set his phone up with his fingerprint. Then made a fingerprint. Then made a silicon mold and shit and peeled it off like CSI. Put this thing on this bloke's thumb and fucking opened his phone there and then live on the video. Yeah. Ah, right. 8 apparently uses a 3D camera so it can detect a 2D face. Yeah, but it's still... It's not so much the picture. Obviously, the first level of security of a face scan, you can't just hold a photo up. That's a no-brainer. But like somebody said, why don't you just grab somebody's face and stick it in front of the phone? If they're being held up in the street, you grab the phone, you grab the person, stick the fizz of in front on it. After I've got your phone, thanks very much. Bit weird, don't you think? Why don't they just stick to the good old-fashioned fucking number that you type in? That's the easiest thing. A number algorithm's way harder to crack than any of this fucking shit. Yeah, it's getting out of hand, innit? Really getting out of hand. I was just going to start a chat about the Xbox X I've heard today on one of the podcasts, but I'm not starting it again because I can't be bothered. All I'll say is I was going to listen to Podcast Unlocked this morning because I saw their thing pop up on YouTube, but then I saw the headline and I thought, no, I cannot be fucking bothered. Because Podcast Unlocked's headline for their podcast this week on YouTube reads... What did it read? The fucking something along the lines of reports of the numbers and the testing on the X is very powerful and lardy-blardy fucking blardy-blah. And I just thought to myself, seriously, please, I don't want to know how good and powerful it is now. We've passed that. I want to know when the fucking thing's coming out. Probably as 99.9% of your audience wants to know it when it's coming fucking out. Nobody gives a shit anymore how it's running or what's inside it. We know that. You've been telling us for the last fucking year and ramming it down our throats. Everybody in the world wants to know why the FCC aren't allowing the bastard thing to be sold. That's a news story. Not you regurgitating and fucking re-mentioning that it's like running very well or whatever. We know that fucking thing. And I haven't listened to it. So for all I know, it could be just a decent podcast. But when you come in with a headline that reads, the tests for the fucking Xbox X are really good, and I'm thinking, really, are they? Wow, you do surprise me. Because fucking Digital Foundry didn't tell us that 3 days ago. And 2 weeks prior. And Microsoft have been saying it for the last fucking 12 months, but you won't feel that you want to tell us again. Please. We want to know when it's coming out. No, Matt, they haven't, and that's what bothers me. These big fucking affiliate podcasts. Major Nelson, tell me why Major Nelson is not announcing it on his show. Seriously. Why the fuck isn't Major Nelson on his podcast in the last month said... And let me ask you a question. How many fucking questions do you think have been sent in to Major Nelson to actually say what's happening with this FCC? Tell me. Hiya, Annie, if you're back. Did you disappear? But tell me, how many people do you think have sent an email in to Major Nelson to say the words, what is happening with the X? Why can't I buy it? What's this FCC? Please explain. And then you've got IGN's Unlocked, Podcast Unlocked, which is probably the second most important Microsoft podcast in the world today. Facts and figures. And all they're doing on the latest show is spouting how powerful it is again. Wow. Thanks. Because you're really telling us something we don't know. And I tell you what, I might listen to it tonight or tomorrow just so I can talk about it, because what they're going to do. Well, this is it. I mean, like I've said, the thing is, Mark, I've been screaming it for the last 2 weeks. I am like the only one that's been saying and shouting from the rooftops, why aren't these big podcasts talking about that? It's the most asked question around by any normal person. Well, I'll tell you what then, Mark, and I think somebody mentioned it in the room the other night, and I think you was as well. Has any of them said that? Has any major gaming podcast in the US come out and actually told the public the real reason? Whether it's an American governmental thing or whatever, have they actually came out and said it? Major Nelson should be the one that said it. Yeah, but Mark, I've said this before, mate. No other console has ever been released in the last 20 fucking years, I think, that hasn't been up for sale within 24, 48 hours after. Which means it's got to get approved because they've got numbers and taking orders. Reddit's normal fucking people, isn't it? Well, yeah, but Benji, it is a big story, mate, if you think about it. They've not got approval of an item that is 4 months away, that they've not even started manufacturing yet, because they can't. How can that not be a big story? I think it's massive, to be honest. In the gaming community, I think it's one of the biggest things that we're not getting an answer for. But even if it is government run and Reddit are talking about it, I've listened to all the big podcasts for the last 4 weeks since E3 and not one of them's mentioned it. And you see, that is the puzzling thing for me. Do you know what I mean? That's like what it's really weird and funny for me. Benji, submitted because it would get leaked. Everybody knew about what it was going to be about a year before it came out. Well, no, it's not the point that gamers want to pre-order. It's retailers, mate. The retailers in this country, I know for a fact because I've spoke to 2 of them, they want to know. Don't forget that retailers, their business relies on it. And don't forget such as retailers in this country and in the world, they are going to need this information for their Christmas period. We all know that businesses such as this work ahead of time. If they can't schedule now their sales points for Christmas because they don't know this, and like I say, it's never happened before. Benji, I'll agree with you there, right? Say if that's right about the SNES Mini, the FCC didn't approve it because they wanted to keep it secret, okay? Wasn't really a secret either, because everybody knew that were coming out either. So let me put that to you then. If it's because it's a secret, there's no secret anymore. There's not been a secret for a month. Do you know what I mean? There's not been a secret for a month. You know, they've actually officially announced it at a business at E3 at a sale. Like E3 is supposed to be a sales event, isn't it? To be honest. So if they've officially announced the product and actually released specs of the product, why is it still not out yet? Mark, I've said it privately to a few friends. I mean, the cooling, it's not a... I mean, I've been told that the cooling system's not as complicated as people think. However, if somebody was to ask me, and a couple of friends privately have asked me, what do I think it is? And we're all guessing, but it's just chat, isn't it? If if a story came out in the next month that there was a problem with something inside it, I would take a wild stab in the dark that it would be the cooling system. And I don't mean it, and I mean it because of this. For the first time, a major company is putting a console in a homes that contains something that's different. Do you know what I mean? Now, if it's government run, so be it. It'll sort itself out. But if it's technical and something inside that they don't like, are they looking at this system? Because that to me is the only thing in it that's different. And you know how health and safety bullshit is nowadays. If they're putting like a liquid cooled system into a console in a living room, I mean, I might be a million miles off the fucking mark, but it just is kind of something out there, like you've said. Yeah, I mean, I think if I was to wildly guess, it would be like this thing could be a bit dodgy. But I'd also say this. It still doesn't, for me, add up why nobody's talked about it. Because look back on every other consoles, the way that every other console's ever been announced. Rumours, years ahead, gets announced 12, 18 months ahead, same as everything else. Then you get a release date. Soon as you get a release date, within 24, 48 hours, you can place a pre-order because the pre-orders have been allocated by the company to the stores around the world because everything's been approved. Okay? So that's been the history in the past. PlayStation did it 3 years ago, and the time before and the time before that. Microsoft did it 3 years ago, time before that, time before that, time before that. They announced the console, you could pre-order it the day after. Always happened. Why is this one any different? Do you know what I mean? Thing is though, Shindo, like I've just said, mate, the point is, every other console that was announced whenever its official release date was said, which this one's been given an official release date, everybody around the world could place a pre-order the day after. I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say now it's all going to go tits up, because I don't think it is. I think it's all going to be fine. I just think it's a weird thing, that's all. Because it has never happened before. It is a weird thing that we've never seen as gamers. Yeah, I like conspiracies. Let's go really mad. Let's say the FCC are going to announce that it's got shit parts inside and it can't be released. So you're fucked. The FCC have turned down Microsoft. Let's try and start some fake news. Shall we start a fake news headline? Can you imagine trying to pull that out? FCC refuse at Microsoft. Cancelled it tonight, Matt. Yeah, meant to mention I've cancelled my. Oh no, I'm glad. In fact, we're going on a whole new. We're going on a whole new train. It's a good subject. This is. So I guess you guys have been seeing the same news as me in the last 24, 48 hours, where they're trying to push the Destiny 2 because you are going to be able to pre-download in a couple of days' times. I think Friday. I think some bullshit like that. I think you're going to be able to click it and pre-download the game for the beta. Okay. So that triggered my interest. I'm thinking, oh, right, I best get my finger out and have a look what the crack is and whatever. Okay? Yeah, that's a good one, Benji. Well, nice one. So, and I want your guys' opinion of this. I actually went straight away when I got the email this morning, because like I say, it triggered. I thought, oh shit, I've not pre-ordered. I need to look at it. What am I doing? Do I fancy playing the beta? Am I leaving it? Whatever. Have you guys seen how much it actually is to place a pre-order for the fucking thing? And I'm really glad you brought this up, because I'd have forgot about this and I was pissed. I meant to bring this up tonight and I'm glad I've remembered. So, have you seen how much you've got to pay? I couldn't find Destiny 2 pre-orders anywhere, even Shop 2, for less than $54.99. $54.99. So, to answer that Matt's question there, everybody wants to know, apparently if you pre-order the game, you're going to get a beta code. You are going to be able to play that on the 18th. Okay? On the 27th, everybody's going to get to play the beta. So if you pre-order the game today, you can play it on the 18th, on the 27th, everybody can try it. So that's the point. But everywhere I've seen, it's $54.95. Because I'll tell you what the funny bit was. 48 quid. But I think if I'm not mistaken on that one, do not Amazon take your money straight away? Seriously, unless it's a Nintendo product, pre-ordering is a mug's game. I always pre-order consoles, mate, and to be honest, the last few things I've pre-ordered, console-wise, you needed to. Oh yeah, without a doubt, Benji, but most of the guys in this room, me included, we like new tech on the day it comes out. Let's be honest. By the way, and people have kept this quiet, have you... I thought they did. Don't quote me on it. I thought Amazon took your money. Because I haven't sold this baby. Where is he? Where is he? Where's he gone? I haven't sold this. I haven't sold that. All yours for £80 British. £80 British, all yours. The 3D XL, the new one, with the nub and the memory card inside, all yours. No, and that's the reason why I've not sold it. That NES Mini pre-order. Oh, my NES Mini that I cancelled literally at 10 PM the night before it came out. I could have made more than a few hundred, mate, on that. They go in like fucking 1-0. They're selling now for fucking daft money. Don't worry. I've got a guaranteed SNES Mini. I'm not cancelling that. I've got to say, Benji, that 2D XL, I've cancelled it because of two reasons I cancelled it. I've had a play on this today for probably the first time in, 6 months? Because I wanted to try the demos. That Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training, the new one's quite good, by the way. That's a demo worth trying. And when I put it down today, that's when I was on Shop 2 looking for Destiny. So I put that down, went looking for Destiny. Then saw, obviously I'd got my 2DS pre-order still in. So I actually looked, and it's out on the 23rd, 24th, end of this month anyway. So the end of this month, it's 128 quid. And I thought, no, I've got too much to pay out. Let's be done with it. And if you've gone and looked at some of the... Actually, I don't know what you guys think. Have you been to look at the reviews for the new 2DS? Because they've kind of... This is a good fake news. Bill Gates was caught in bed with Shahida, sparring rumours that the PS5 tech is being used in the Xbox X. More news to follow. That's a cracker. That's a brilliant one. Benji, I will give you a tip, mate, if you've not. All the big review sites, IGNs, your GameSpots, have done the official review for the 2DS. I'd go and look at them before you make your decision, because I will admit that them reviews are actually part of the reason I've cancelled. It looks a bit flimsy, looks a bit plasticky, looks a bit cheap. From the outside, it looks nice aesthetically, but the hinges and shit... Go and watch Giant Bomb's review of it, and I think you'll cancel any orders you may have yourself. He's flapping it about like a madman, oh Jeff Gershman. In fact, it will make me give him the judders, because he got it and flipped the thing open and fucking shook it like that, and I thought it was going to come off its hinges. It looks very cheaply made. It looks nice to look at, aesthetically. But then I thought, when I'd literally played that one for like... first time in 6 months, I thought to myself, well, if I get that way out selling that, it's just going to sit on top of there and not get played anyway. So that's when I cancel. I'm not that bothered about the 2DS. Don't get me wrong. If money was no object, I'd get one, because I think I like the look of it. I think aesthetic looks pretty. It's nice. It's a new piece of tech. I don't mind it. But definitely go and look on YouTube, Benji, for the reviews, mate. There's IGN's done one. GameSpot I watched today. But save Giant Bombs till last. Because I think if you watch the other two, you might be still thinking, oh yeah, it looks nice. Then go and watch Giant Bombs and you'll think, fuck that, I ain't buying one of them. So, definitely. So back to the Destiny thing. I don't think I'm pre-ordering it. Bollocks to it. Because I don't know, it's crazy. Am I going to hold on to your Switch to play Sonic Mania? My Switch is already sold. I've already got a buyer. It's a listener from the show. They've already said they'll buy it. That's what I'm going to fund my new MacBook with, I think. Well, I say new MacBook. Unless what I'll have to do is get the thing geared to try and sell my other MacBook. Unless we've been talking on here as well. So all wheeler dealings going towards the end of the month. But I am selling the Switch to a Cranky Gamer listener. And no, I'm not selling it for crazy price either. I'm selling it for virtually cost price. Because it's got Mario Kart with it. It's got a couple of wheels with it for the Mario Kart as well. So literally, I think what I'm selling it for is cost price. So before anybody has a spaz and gets the tits out and goes mental, I'm selling it for standard price. It's just that I literally haven't touched the machine. I could do with the money at the minute, to be fair. So it's going to help everybody all round. So, but I will get one again at Christmas time when Mario's out, because I will want to play Mario more than anything, probably. It is one. Oh, by the way, I've sorted my fish tank out. It looks a bit girly now. The SNES Classic Mini price on eBay. Go on, Craig. I know people have already got them on there, which I've got to admit, if I'm being honest, I think that's wrong. And I think it's wrong on eBay's point of view as well. I think eBay should shut them down. Not because of the prices, because listen, and I'm going to say this out there, and I said it kind of the other week as well. The prices, right, for any item, I don't begrudge anybody selling anything for what they can get for it. Because like I've said about Gumtree and shit the other day, and eBay, and I like this SNES Mini, and I know it looks fucking crazy, this SNES Mini, right, okay, but nobody's making you buy it, guys, and I really want you to get that across. They're not, Matt. What they do, and this is why I'm saying eBay ought to stop it, eBay allow them to put an advert up. It'll get sold, but it's just a pre-order. I wouldn't do that on eBay for no money, but I think eBay ought to slam down on it. I don't think anybody should be allowed to sell anything on eBay that is not currently to market. I think that is completely wrong. It's full of holes. It's dead dicey, and it's wrong. And anybody who actually buys one right now off there wants the fucking bumps feeling. Because I can tell you now, they're very scarce. Every single place in the world at the minute when a pre-order's made, you only can get one. So these twats on eBay that are saying they've got one, oh, they've took them down, have they? Well done. It does look good. I'm 150 hours into my Zelda save. I haven't played anything else on the console yet. Nothing else worth playing. Mario Kart's worth it, mate. I agree, Niall. And you see, let me go back to what I was saying. Well, and I'll openly admit it, because I don't give a fuck. I'm a normal person. I'm one of you guys. I'm nobody special. I'm one of you fuckers. If I get offered a silly fucking... If I see that them SNES Minis are going for stupid money, I will probably sell it. But I want to say this to you guys, and it goes to all of you. I know the prices are stupid. Nobody makes you buy them. And that's my point. So I wouldn't begrudge a single person in this room if you're selling your car tomorrow at an extortionate price, or you're selling something else. Because let's be honest. Let's be honest. There's not anybody in this room that hasn't sold something in their life before and not tried to get top dollar. And I think every one of you will admit that. Craig, it doesn't make it right, mate, and I'll agree with you, but it's business. It happens all round the world, mate. Not just in gaming, on everything. Yeah, Zelda didn't... contrary to popular belief, people that bought Zelda on the Wii U and thought about saving themselves some money and not getting a Switch, it's not very good on the Wii U, apparently. I think that them doing that, Mac, was just to appease the Wii U people. I really do. It's clear they put all the resources into the Switch version, definitely. But going back to the selling thing, I don't begrudge anybody selling for whatever. Nobody makes you pay it. But I know for a fact that every single one of you in this room, everybody who has ever sold anything, you honestly going to hold your hands up now and said you didn't try and get top dollar for it. I'm not saying you sold it at stupid prices, but you see, this is another point. It's not the person that's selling it. It's not the person that's buying it. The bottom line, you see, it's the market. The market determines the price. No individual determines the price. It's the market. Hiya, Joseph. The market determines price. So when in September the SNES Minis start coming, and they're on eBay for like 2, 3, 4 grand, and they will be, the reason it'll stay there is because people are buying them. Now, if 200, 300, 400 appear on eBay in the first week, and they're all over £1,000, and nobody buys them, then market will prevail and drop them down. And then maybe in a month, they'll be 500 quid. And maybe nobody will still buy them. So then in another month, they'll be down to 200 quid. Because the market determines the value. And Matt, scalping, I agree, and that's why I'm saying these people on eBay have got to be careful, because nobody anywhere can buy more than one. I've not seen a single store in the UK yet that will let anybody buy more than one. And I agree, no shop in the street should let any single human being walk into a store and grab 10 off the shelf. That is wrong. That is scalping at the top end. What I'm talking about is everyday people like me and you that have got one item that are selling it. Matt, and this is what I said on the show, the fucking crazy thing about this, they're stopping making them in December. They've already announced they're not manufacturing them past December. I mean, but let me throw another skeptical piece out for you, okay? This is me being Mr. Cynical, but I'm going to tell you something for free. I think this is the exact thing that's happening. Take it how you want. We all know what happened to the NES Mini. Ridiculous, okay? They have enforced it in this country, Benji, I can tell you now. Definitely. Shindo, I'm coming to that right now. So the NES Mini comes out. We all know the history of that. They were items of the NES Mini selling on eBay. 3, I think, actually went for 3 grand, 2 grand, and a grand. They actually sold. And I do believe currently the market price of a NES Mini is still very high, like in the hundreds. That's if you can even find one for sale, okay? So I'll leave that aside at the minute. So we then get all this fuss about the SNES Mini. Rare as rocking horse shit. Can't buy them anywhere in the world. UK's sold out in a second. I'm fortunate enough to be guaranteed one, which is great. I think Benji, you said you can't even place a pre-order yet in America. So that's how scarce they are over there. So when September comes... Great song, by the way. When September comes and it all kicks off and they go for sale and eBay lights up in America and in Britain and it goes fucking crazy mental and the prices will skyrocket. There'll be 800,000, whatever. Then it'll die down a bit. Then December comes and the print run's stopped, so it goes a bit fucking crazy, okay? Through the roof again. And I'll stick by my prediction that January, it's fucking... they're up to thousands by then, because people are scared they're not going to find one and they're desperate for one. I'm now going to throw you my theory, and it's not really a theory, because to me it's bang on fucking 100%. Who is the winner in all this fiasco? And I mean from the NES Mini fiasco, from the news, the TV, eBay, the sales, the stopping making them, announcement of SNES Mini, telling us they're not making them past December, the prices are going to skyrocket, they're going to be as rare as rocking horse shit. put that all in a big bubble with a headline. Who is the winner in all that? And I'll give you a fucking clue. It starts with a big fat N. And the winner is Nintendo. Because the entire world's media are talking about Nintendo. They don't give a shit that they're not making the NES Mini anymore. They don't give a shit that they're stopping the NES Minis. Their bottom line is the fact that the entire world is talking about Nintendo. In what form? Who gives a shit? But Nintendo are sitting pretty because don't forget, around about Christmas, they'll have a Switch to sell. Because I wouldn't be at all fucking surprised if they're holding back Switchers. Holding back, holding back, holding back. December comes, all the shit hits the fan about the SNES Mini. Fucking hell, I can't buy them anywhere. Nobody can find them anywhere. They're this, that and the other. But wait, I'm on Nintendo.com. What do I see? Fucking hell, they've got a new machine. Nintendo Switch. Fuck it, I'll buy one of them. That is your kicker. There's your kicker. Nintendo are playing this. I bet they are sat in offices in their headquarters and I bet they are pissing themselves. The shareholders will be doing a dance and a fucking jig every day. I agree, Matt, 100% if they made more, but they don't need to, because the newsworthiness of all this makes them win in the long run. That's the thing. It's just the way I just stand back and look at it, and it's exactly what they're doing. People are saying Nintendo are fucking idiots. No, they're not. No, they're not. Seriously, Nintendo aren't the idiots. Nintendo are the fucking clever people. Don't work like that, mate, does it? That's the bottom line. And like I say, all the hype, all the stuff about the SNES Mini is just putting fuel on the fire, chucking more on. Yes, let's get that fire fucking burning. But the thing is, Benji, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. When they go in December, all Mr. and Mrs. Smith and little Johnny Smith who wants his SNES Mini, who said, Mum, they're only £80. They've gone looking for one. Where do they go when they can't buy them in the shops? They go on eBay. What are they going to see on eBay? Fucking hell, Johnny. This machine you said 80 quid, it's 500 quid here, it's 600 here, it's 1,000 here. Let me go and look on official Nintendo site. On the pop, they'll say, Johnny, what's this here? Look at 270 quid. I ain't paying £800 for this piece of shit. There's your business chain. Bang. Thank you very much. Do you know what I mean? You might think it's all a mess and it's all fucked up. I can assure you it ain't. It's very clever. Very clever business, very clever marketing. And the only winner in all of it is the big N, Nintendo. There's your winner. Again, oh yeah, because your Xbox is 500 quid mark. I'm telling you, Nintendo are going to make the killing at Christmas. They honestly don't. Let me just throw, I mean, just to back up my theory, okay? I wish it was mine. Fucking hell, it should have been. It probably was some little twat that bought it off shop too. Mine that I cancelled. Well, they may, but you see, Benji, the point is, mate, if they can't, then they're not getting one, are they? And it's the way it is. It's just a business chain, and I think, you see, how many years do we think Switch will have for? The Switch could go on for a while. And again, another clever marketing ploy. And this is, again, I'm pushing it all this into another way. You know how all you guys are going fucking spare that they've not started the e-store yet on the Switch? and not put all the old games on. They're too busy interested in the NES and the SNES. But let me say this to you. Why do you think the NES is not doing a run anymore? Why do you think the SNES Mini has already been said they're not making anymore after December? I'll tell you why. Because they want to milk the fuck out all this newsworthy story to get people onto the site, to get talking about Nintendo, so when they then announce early next year and say, ha ha, the brand new fucking e-store only on Switch, you can buy all them fucking games that you've just been trying to find one for 80 quid, you can now play them on our fucking Switch. Yep, definitely, Shindo. And I'll tell you now, mate, I think my marketing ploy is bang on. Absolutely bang on. I think they are holding it back. And I wouldn't be fucking surprised. I know they've come out and admitted, oh, we can't get the chips to make the fucking battery, apparently, or some shit. Whether it's true or not. But would you honestly not believe they've got fucking thousands hanging back in some factory somewhere ready for this shit to hit the fan at Christmas? Telling you. Yeah, and it's, Benji, it's same in this country, mate. Same in this country. That's why they're currently selling at 400 quid plus. Can't find them anywhere. There's rare as rocking horse shit everywhere. But I will say, and I said this on the show a couple of weeks back, apparently... Do you know when you see in stock, by the way, and people have asked me this, saying, well, you said you're selling your own for expensive, and so-and-so's got them, and so-and-so's got them. Let me just tell you now. When you see these stores saying we've got so in stock, they've got something like a fucking, like 1 or 2. And they'll either be returns or whatever. Seriously, it won't be a run. It won't be fucking Sainsbury's coming, oh, we've got another 100 switchers. It's not. They're like 1s and 2s. There's no run of them coming anywhere. What are you going to be playing on in 2018? You're going to be playing Xenoblade on it. You're going to be playing Pikmin on it. You're going to be playing Pokemon on it. You'll be playing plenty of games on it, believe me. Nintendo will have shit lined up for that. They already have done. Go and look at the E3 coverage, Benji. A lot of 2018 stuff coming out. But yeah, Nintendo are playing it fucking perfect out, if in my opinion. I think they just bang on. I maybe should hold on to my Switch a bit, do you think? Because I could sell for a bit more. No, I've already agreed to sell it. In fact, I ought to pack it up and put it in the box, actually, in the next few days. Anyway, my story about my fish tank, to just go completely off topic. I have now got gaily pink fucking gravel in the bottom. It looks really gaily. One type of Pokemon was announced, but the other, they said it was 3 years. There's the Metroid games as well coming. It's just the EU problem, isn't though? No stock, probably problem in North America. Asia. There's none anywhere. Anywhere. To be honest, Datebox, and this is what kind of, I know that we're being sceptical and shit, but you can't buy them anywhere in the world. Nowhere. They're rare as rocking or shit, as everybody knows. We've got people in America in this room. We've got people in the UK. You can't find them. I kind of had a bit of credence to their apology last month to say, look, guys, we're not bullshitting this time. We can't make the batteries. It's all linked to the battery, apparently. Because it's such a powerful device as a handheld, and it requires that battery, that's where their technology is like banged into it, because these batteries are like fucking brilliant, but they can't manufacture them quick enough. Or it's something I've read where one of the parts for the batteries, they can't get them. If Game are actually selling switchers and they're overpricing them with a bundle, they ought to be fucking reported. Because I do believe, Shindo, that I don't think there's any official Switch bundles anyway. So if they've got their own bundle, it wouldn't surprise me if they're breaking the fucking law somewhere. And somebody, I think, is quite entitled to walk into that shop and demand that they sell that Nintendo Switch for the RRP price on its own, because there's no official bundles. I'm pretty sure there's some kind of fucking trade law inside there somewhere. But you know what Gamer like? They're not the best place in the world, are they? I ain't got time to play the 150 or so games across Xbox, PlayStation. Well, never mind trying to get Nintendo. Very true, mate. It's the great time to be a gamer. Game look like they're in trouble again too. They ought to be. They ought to be fucking shut down. Some of their policies and the way they've acted in the last 12, 18 months has been appalling. Charging people to play VR, they ought to have been fucking shot. And I'm amazed Sony didn't slam down on, but I think they actually did say they did backtrack a bit, didn't they? Yes, Craig. I used to watch Steptoe and Son, one of my favourite comedies. I like the series is good, the original series. That's proper comedy. And the films are brilliant still. The one about the strippers, fantastic. Yes, my fish tank had the absolute lot out today. Cleared it completely. It wouldn't surprise me if all the shrimp are dead and gone and I don't know where they are, because I absolutely stripped it clean. Got everything out of it. 3/4 of the water out of it. Cleaned everything. Just fucking wiped everything down. Bought some, like, what I thought was red gravel. It now looks pink. And just fucking scattered that all over the top of the sand. Put the snails back. The snails were alright. The fish was fine. Put my plants back in. Washed everything else. Put it back in. Put a new filter in. It looks the dog's bollocks. Except it looks scaly pink. I'll put a picture on Twitter tomorrow. With my phone, because it's the better camera. And it looks scaly. But I'm not bothered. It looks clean. I need a drink. Yeah, I know they hated each other in real life. Yeah, which is a shame. Because they worked together a lot, and the big shame was the young one died before the old one, didn't he? Harry H. Corbett. Been thinking today, why ain't my beard growing any longer? It's like gone into hibernation, it's not getting any longer, although it's tidy and neat. What was I going to mention? Oh, the other thing I didn't mention, I started talking about it and then went off on a whole new separate track. You guys saw the announcement? It kind of snuck by. Now, let me just say this. I probably dreamt this fucker. So I'm pushing this out to the channel right now. I may have dreamt this. So what I'm about to say might be utter bollocks. But I'm 99.999% certain that I saw this either on Twitter, in an email, or somewhere. But am I right in thinking they've just announced the PlayStation Pro in white? They're on holiday, Craig. The only time I went down, mate, to buy my new settee, they were on fucking holiday, weren't they? I mean, what place shuts down in the middle of fucking summer for a holiday? Yeah, the white PlayStation Pro. I am right, aren't I? I'm not losing my marbles. Yes, I thought I'd seen it. Because I think what it was, I saw it and I deleted the email straight away because I thought, no, don't look at that. Because how nice would a white Pro look at the side of the white Xbox S? It would get my OCD balanced out, wouldn't it? It does look gorgeous, though. Thing is, though, about the OCD bullshit, and I'm only kidding. Can you imagine, right? Nice white Pro to match the OCD shit of the S on the right hand side. Can you imagine if the Pro's white was slightly off white and not the same white as that? That'd piss you off even more, I think. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're looking and thinking it's white but not quite. So yeah, that'd be good. Tomorrow night's stream, guys, I will start streaming the new game then that I've got now. I finished this DLC, the cleaner, serial cleaner. Quite looking forward to having a bash at that. Although I will say it's not my cup of tea at all, so don't be surprised if I start playing it and I hate the damn thing. What I might do, I've got yeah. I might play it a bit in the afternoon to see if it's worth streaming, because if it's a game I can't get on with and get bored or get angry, I'll ditch it. Because I tell you what, I nearly put in the machine today. I've got Prey Amta still and still not put that in the machine. So I might stick Prey in for a stream and get frustrated with that fucking thing. But I must admit, that serial cleaner... Oh, I'll tell you what I am due to get review. In fact, what day is it today? Wednesday. I should have got my review code today. That Yonder... Mate, I wouldn't stream fucking... I wouldn't stream Crash, ever. I've seen people playing it. I'd be smashing things. More importantly, where's the last Jedi proper trailer? Got to be soon. Mate, I don't like watching the trailers. I'll wait. Do you know what, Shindol? I might even be buying that now, that Skyrim VR. I've got to say, it just sounds too good. I'll tell you what, though. And this is a point, I might have said this on the show, but I know it's a ridiculous price. It's $49.99. Personally, I think that's a bit rude for a 5-6 year old game, albeit in VR. I know they'll have put a lot of work into it. Personally, I think they should be offering it at about 35 quid. I think that's ample enough. And the thing is, they really need to put a demo out, in my opinion. Because I can't see, and I'm one of these people, I don't know what you think, Shindol, as well. I think it's wrong for them to charge 50 quid for a game in VR, so you'd have to pay that much to get to look at it. Because it's a format that you only get the experience by experience. I think it's a naughty thing that they're doing it for 50 quid without offering a demo. I think it's very wrong. Because it's not the same medium, and I think it's a bad way of handling it. They need to bring a demo of that VR out. Even if it's 5 fucking minutes long, just bring a demo out and let us see what it's like. Because if you're selling your product and it's going to be as good as people are saying it is, I think you'll sell millions more. But the point being, you're not going to expect people to chuck 50 quid at a fucking very old game on the sheer pretense that I might enjoy it. I need to see it, in my opinion. Craig, do I watch EastEnders? You'd have to tie me to a chair and call me Mary before I watch that anymore. The thing about soap operas, mate, when I was with my ex-wife, that's all we watched. We had like a regime. It was like clockwork. It was literally like clockwork. I can tell you the fucking day. 5 o'clock, she comes home, takes the coat off, sits down. 6 o'clock, Hollyoaks. 6:30, another fucking bullshit one. 7 o'clock, Emmerdale. Next one, EastEnders. And that were it. She'd probably be thinking of going to bed then. Yep, so it used to drive me fucking crazy. Hopefully we'll find it cheaper at GameSeek or the Game Collection. It's got to be cheaper than $49.99. It really has. I mean, if it was... I'll tell you now, there's a simple thing. Still thinking what I'm saying about there should be a demo. No-brainer, in my opinion. But I think if they chucked it out at $34.99, me especially, I don't know how you're thinking, if I see that game at $34.99, I buy it without wanting a demo. It's acceptable. If there's no demo, I ain't paying 50 quid to have a look. And that's my kind of feeling. And even though that game's 5 years old, if they've done they've done 100% entire of the game in VR, I think it's just going to be one of the best experiences that you've had. And everybody I've seen in the industry with the podcasts and stuff that's actually had hands-on, they've lost the fucking mind. Lost the mind. By the way, though, there's a dilemma in that game. You know when you may have heard me talking on the show when I said that the guy at PlayStation Access was losing his mind because he was firing fire with that arm and frost with the other fucking ones. Do you know what I mean? No, I don't think they should get it free, Craig. I think they should get a discount, without a doubt. Because it's a brand new made game. There's a lot of tech gone into it. It's not just literally this. I know it's the same game, obviously, but the tech involved, you couldn't get it free. Even I wouldn't agree with that. So apparently the dilemma is this, Shindle, and I'd be interested in what your thoughts. You know, everybody was talking about the teleport movement, okay? You do the teleport. I wouldn't trust Giant Bomb with PSVR, Simon. Not at all. I think they've been the poorest endorsers of PlayStation VR of any one of the big guys out there. And when you look at the other channels, it just seems they're so far off the mark, and I don't understand why. Can't you remember them when it began? Can't you remember the fuss they made of like it losing tracking? And that first night, them first 2 days, they showed it, and they like literally shot it down in flames. And I'll tell you now, I said it then, and I shall say it now. My PSVR has never, ever, ever, ever lost tracking on anything that I'm playing. Not once. They hammered it to death. So, as much as I like Giant Bomb, and I do, I think their handling of PSVR has been exceptionally poor. And I think actually they did get a bit of backlash for it, because I remember the weeks after it, they were kind of trying to backtrack a bit and trying to explain to people, because I think they got a lot of backlash with other people saying, what do you mean tracking? I'm not getting a problem. Like everyday people in the street that had bought one weren't getting no problems. Giant Bomb were just spouting every night, we lose tracking, we can't do it, we can't play it. My personal opinion is I think their setup in that studio was screwed up in some way. And they even tried to back that up and saying things like we've tested lights, we've tested green screens, and I just thought, no, I don't buy it. I'll go back to that now, what I was talking about, Shindo. Right, the teleport. We all thought it was going to be teleport movement. Teleport movement's a very nuanced thing you either like or you don't in VR. Personally, I don't, and a lot more don't like it besides. The sad thing is, though, people are reporting the best part of Skyrim is having the nunchucks as your hands and having your spells. That's one of the best parts of the game. However, and your swords, by the way, and your shields and shit, so you've got one-to-one with the wands. However, if you've got the wands, you have to have teleport movement. If you play with DualShock 4, you play with DualShock 4 and move with the sticks. So it's the lesser of two evils, which is a shame. So you're going to be swinging your sword and shield and shit and all your spells with the controller as normal, but you'll be in a real environment in VR, which I think still should be okay. But it's a shame. But I do believe it should be cheaper. Definitely. Just 1 second, guys. I'm just checking my email, see if that review's arrived. The review I'm waiting for is the game called Yonder. PlayStation Access did I think a 50-minute stream last week of it. They got earlier, obviously. And I think it's in the store now for about 15 quid. So I'm just checking now. It doesn't look like it's arrived. Nope. Oh well. I hope you get as many shit emails as I do. My inbox is chocker of shit, in a word. I've got an email from... Unfortunately, we are only sending review units to domestic outlets at this moment, but we will add you to the review list and see if we can... Thing is, I got that reply today and I don't know what I was actually asking for. But that's a weird statement, isn't it? Unfortunately, we are only sending review units to domestic outlets at this moment. What's domestic outlets? I need to find out what I wrote in there because I've no clue. I'll save that for my iPad because I think that'll be a better... That will be a better email, I think. It'll tell me what I wrote because I have no idea what they're talking about. It'll be interesting to see how well it runs. It's going to run on Switch, Matt, because it's the 360 and PS3 version. So before you jump out there and buy it on the Switch, just think what you're doing before you do. Because it's the 360 PS3 version. Like the worst of the worst you can be playing. Resident Evil 7 felt great with the control pad, so Skyrim should. It did. The atmosphere and the feel, because like you know yourself, Shindo, what people, it's so hard to describe to people that, and I say it a million times a fucking week, until you've got that thing on your head and you are in that environment, no games reviewer, no games reviewer can actually tell you how good that actually is. Seriously, you can't. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Matt, but you get what I'm coming from. It's that version, basically. It's none of the new souped-up versions. By the way, anybody know what the updated firmware did last night? I switched on today on the Pro and it said firmware had been updated. Probably just the usual bullshit of fixes and bugs, apparently. Just wondered if anything bigger had been fixed or what they've been doing. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 10:45 p.m.
Are you sure it's the remastered, Simon? Because I heard it was the 360 version, mate. Because I don't think the remastered version could run on it. I'm sure I read that somewhere. Yeah, I do, Matt. I've got to say, it's one of the biggest surprises I thought Xbox let us down with at E3. You're bringing out a nice machine, but according to most people, it's an upgrade, isn't it? So you take it what it is. The best moments are putting the headset on someone's head when they have... It is, mate, and I bet you obviously have got the same thing. You know I invite people to test the headsets here. And I'll tell you now, I have had people in here... and I don't know if you get this feeling as well, and you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. That moment that you sit them down and describe what they're going to do and put the thing on and stick it and tell them what's going to happen. I don't know what you use for your people to test, but I'll tell you what I put them through. I've got like a regime, and I do it the same for everybody. The very first thing I put them on, I put them in the shark tank under the water. Because even though that's standing up, I think that is the big shock immersion that they get for the first time. So my test, when I say, do you test the VR, I stand them, I says, right, stand up, get ready, and I say, here we go, and I put them in the shark tank, because they don't need any controls, it's the way they went. Every person that's took that headset off after that, I ought to have took a gallery of pictures, because it's the same expression on everybody's face, and it's like that wide-eyed bug look of like, holy fuck. Then I sit them down and put kitchen demo on, because that's just 5 minutes of shit scary, and that's like the opposite end of the scale. And I must admit, if you've got them two things, I recommend that when you're testing somebody to show for the first time, do exactly that. Because it's a great contrast of doing that when you relax them in the water and they're seeing these sharks and they're thinking, oh my god, this is awesome. Then you sit them down so they're relaxed, hand them the controller, and then put kitchen on. The contrast between them two is fantastic. Oh my god, I'm surprised it didn't kill her. Jesus Christ, what did she say? Fucking hell. I don't think I'd do that. Did she like it? What I was going to finally say on the matter, hiya by the way, hiya 7. What I was going to say is I've never had a single person that's took that headset off and have a bad thing to say about it. It's completely the opposite. Completely the opposite. Everybody's like, wow, that's just amazing. And it is. And that's the feeling. Not had a single negative person say, no, that's shit, I didn't get it. In fact, the only person that's been negative is Ricky. And Ricky had it on, and I'm not kidding this, for 5 minutes. He came in after driving up from Southampton. He literally stayed about 20 minutes. 10 minutes of that was setting it up, having a chat. I put it on for 5 minutes. Then he took it off, and then he said he'd got to go. So that's the only person that didn't come out saying wow. But he literally had 5 minutes. She was genuinely scared, but she loved the experience. Yeah, that's what it is. It's great. Definitely. I actually, now the weather's cooling down, I'm going to go back to Farpoint again, I think, because I've not been playing Farpoint, and my gun's on my wall, and I've got to say, every time I look at it every day, I keep saying to myself, I want to play it. Could you do a long game on it? Yeah, easily. The thing is, Matt, and I'll say this, such as like Farpoint, right? It doesn't hurt your eyes at all. No. I'll tell you the only thing that stops me, and I don't know if Shindle will agree with me here, I've never stopped playing VR because of my eyes. And I've got glasses on. Blind as a fucking bat without these. I've never ever stopped playing VR because of my eyes. Every single time I have stopped and had a break and a drink or whatever, it's for one reason only. And the one reason is because the headset makes you hot. You are sweating like a fucking pig. And every 20 minutes, half an hour, it just pays just to pause the game, take it off, have a wipe down and wipe the lenses and just do that. And everybody sweats, and I'm not talking it because I'm a big lad. I mean everybody. It just makes your head warm. But it doesn't hurt your eyes at all. Not in my experience. It never has done. Every one of my stops has always been like, oh God, I want a drink. I need to just have a minute. Because you're just hot and sweaty. But I will say, that little thing there, you're not going to see it on camera. Don't know if you've not got any of this, Shindo, but I'll highly recommend it, mate. Drop onto Amazon. Drop onto Amazon and type in and go and buy this. It's called Zoggs, Zoggs, Fog Buster Anti-Fog and Lens Cleaner. Every time I use it, you open this and it's like a sponge on top. It's like a dauber. I just get my VR just before I'm about to use it, daub it on it, wipe it across each lens, leave it for about 30 seconds because it's like got alcohol in it and it just slightly evaporates. Get a really nice cloth like a star cloth or something, and then just watching it, just wipe that. And then I've got glasses as well. Now what I do, I also daub it on here as well. So I do 2 daubs on my glasses, 2 daubs on my VR, wipe them both down, and you don't steam up at all. You still get hot in it, but you don't get that fogging. That Zoggs Fog Buster Anti-Fog Lens Cleaner. About £3 on Amazon. Best thing I've bought for a while. And it's always on this coffee table. Looking at Skyrim trailers, it's the remastered. Alright, Simon, I apologise. I thought it was the 360 version. Right, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night a bit early tonight because, one, there's no more games because I've finished this tonight. Anybody arriving late in the room, please click the like button, by the way, guys. Don't forget, still keep that going. That's been bit popular. I've got a bit of a larger head and sometimes it gives me a headache at the loosest setting playing for long periods. I've got a big head. I've got a very funny shaped head. I can't wear hats or caps. My head's very, very large and very weirdly shaped. But I don't have that problem at all. But I'll throw this out to you. Just it's a question. It's a good question. Before I go, you've got to think when you're normally gaming, guys. And I know we all have done. I have. But if you think about it logically, okay, even the deepest, bestest, favourite game in your entire library in your years, you very rarely will sit down on a session and play for hours upon hours upon hours without at least getting up, having a piss, having a drink, having a break, having a chat, and then carrying on. Very few games do you sit and play for many, many hours on the trot. I know that you do. So when you think about it, having a break on VR is just really like normal standard gaming. You do have breaks normally. It's just that people kind of heighten the point of it because it's physically on your body and you've got to take it off. It's making me want to put VR on now, actually talking about it. But anyway, I am going to get off, guys. I appreciate you being in the room. It is a bit, well, I say late. It's late and early. But tomorrow night, like I say, I'm either going to stream the Serial Cleaner from the start, or I'm going to do Prey from the start. And I'm going to do that. So, hope you've appreciated this Little Nightmares DLC. Anybody late into the room, if you want to jump onto the stream at Cranky Gamers UK on YouTube, last night's stream and this one is the DLC in its entirety. And I do have the whole game on the stream somewhere as well. And don't forget, every stream that I do is always on YouTube. Please go and watch them. Please click like, subscribe. Follow me at Twitter at Tozol. Don't forget the thing at the bottom. It's a donation button if anybody's interested. You don't ever have to. But I'm going to have a coffee, and I'm going to watch some TV, I think. Or I'm going to watch my YouTube channel first. And let's see if Mrs. Roman's had her baby yet. That's the sad thing that I watch, but I love it. Anyway, guys, until tomorrow night, thanks for watching. And I'll speak to you soon when I've figured out the right button to press. Good night, guys. I've enjoyed it. Good night.